Dr. Sanjay Oak is an Indian surgeon specialized in field of pediatrics and laparoscopy. He was the former dean of the Seth G Medical College and King Edward Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. He is also an elected fellow of the National Academy of Medical Sciences, former director of medical education and major hospitals for Medical Colleges in Mumbai. He is a prolific writer in Marathi and a weekly columnist of great repute. Dr. Sanjay Oak was also the Vice Chancellor of the Padmashree Dr. Patil Vidyapeeth, Navi, Mumbai, the CEO of Prince Ali Khan Hospital, Mumbai, and Aga Khan Health Services India. He was appointed as the chairman of the task force for COVID-19 in Maharashtra.
Somebody asked me, how was your relationship with the government? Did they listen to you? Or did you have to force yourself upon them? And here I must mention Honorable Chief Minister Uddhavji Thackeray. He had once made a statement to me and he had said, Dr. Oak, योग्य काय आहे ते बोलण्यासाठी निवड केली आहे म्हणून तुम्हाला अध्यक्ष केलंय. आम्हाला काय करता येणं शक्य आहे किंवा आम्हाला लोकप्रियतेसाठी काय करावं हे सांगण्यासाठी तुमची निवड झालेली नाही. You should say what is right for the state and what is right for the community. And that is exactly what the task force has done. The task force meets every Monday. We have never met person to person. All these meetings are through the video. And we conduct the meetings from 8:30 to 10:30, 11. We call guests. We have had scientists coming from Harvard, from Johns Hopkins, from Alderhay Children's, from English hospitals, from Switzerland, from Sweden. People participating in discussions, narrating their experiences. People talking from US as to what is happening in third wave, where probably they have gone wrong. Every educational and experiential advice and intelligence was distilled in the task force. And I don't sleep till I type myself the advisories to state government on that Monday night. And Tuesday morning, first thing at 8 o'clock, those advisories are on the desk of Honorable CM, Chief Secretary and Health Secretary. I've conducted the task force in this scenario for the last 20 months. That is what is the journey of task force. So what did the task force achieve in these 20 months? Assessment district-wise, that was possible. Assimilation of knowledge, as I told you, from the world. Do you argue? We argue a lot. No two intelligent doctors agree with each other. So there are arguments, but we agree to disagree. And there is a respectful concoction that ultimately comes out of those discussions. Designing of inclusive policies. Something that looks good on the paper, you may not be able to execute in the community. So you need to design policies and strategies which will include the cooperation. Otherwise, it is like telling Pune people to wear helmets on scooters, which is not possible. So something similar to that. What is possible, what will be accepted and done, that is to be told. And bridges between public sector and private sector, as I quoted. So we could get repurposed drugs. All the drugs that you are seeing, tocilizumab, remdesivir, itolizumab, plasma therapy, came from task force. The concept of setting up of field hospitals. See, when I was working in England, I used to stroll in Hyde Park. And one day I saw a beautiful picture of a field hospital being erected on the lawns of Hyde Park. So I said, if that was a need there, why can't I do that in BKC of Mumbai? So that is how we built the first 2,000 beds field hospital in BKC, Mumbai. Honorable CM came for inauguration and said, Dr. Oak, build 2,000 more and make this 4,000. And we didn't stop at that. We created one in Malad, one in Mulund, one in Richardson Krudas in Bhaikhala, one in Mahalakshmi, and then the same experience was duplicated at multiple places. So the field hospitals came into existence. Testing, tracking, tracing, these 3 T's were the ABCs of managing this pandemic. Home care, whether you should do or not, was a big debate, but this was advocated. New antiviral drugs, the role played by monoclonal antibodies, restrictions and lockdowns, pandemics, and something that hit my heart. Dear friends, on 2 occasions in these 20 months, I have cried. And I'm very honest to admit that. I felt, why I become MBBS? I should have joined IIT. I was selected for IIT. I should have joined IIT after my pre-degree inter-science and not become a doctor. Those 2 incidences, one, when we lost patients because of want of oxygen in this state. And the second incidence, at 5 times, we lost patients in ICUs because of fires in ICUs. Do no harm is the basic principle of medical profession. And I think on those both issues, whether it was task force, state government, whatever it might be, but I think we could have done far better. That's what I feel. So what was the good, bad, and the ugly of this pandemic? Not everything is bad, and that was I was discussing with your professor colleagues from pharmacy. What was good? Technology evolved. You have got the best of technology, which every day becomes better, and the next generation uses it a lot better. So the students are expected to use them better than the teachers. That is expected. So technology evolved. Age-old practices were challenged. In my experience, अरे भैया तेरे जमाने में कभी हुआ ही नहीं है. So there is a question of age-old experiences. So they were challenged. Telemedicine improved. We in fact started the concept of tele-ICUs. When Fortis ICU was connected to so many other ICUs in the district places of Maharashtra. Virology laboratories, which I told you, from 2 to almost 500 plus. Oxygen plants were set up. So in fact the task force passed a new resolution that any hospital, which the state government adopted, that any hospital which is more than 150 beds will have its own oxygen generating plant. This also came through the task force. And network of support systems started evolving. What was bad? Oxygen shortages. It's not only always the manufacture, but a lot of oxygen is abused and overused. It leaks through the connecting pipes of the walls. So the oxygen shortages was bad. Mass exodus, and I wrote an article on this, that in the month of May, those scenes of people walking up to Bihar, someone saying that I am going to go to Uttar Pradesh on bicycle, someone coming under a train, someone coming under a car on a highway. I was reminded of 1947 of partition exodus. I think we have seen the worst of mass exodus, and I feel I expressed this to Uddhavji, that perhaps we could have anticipated and planned this a lot better. But this was something bad. Unprepared health sector, but that was all across the world, because the magnitude of the problem was so huge that we were unprepared. Private players, some were greedy, and there were cases of exploitation of money, and that was bad. Media played a dubious role, as always, and guidance was not always ready. Even we were caught, like having a dusra coming in the crease, and therefore the guidance was not always ready. What was ugly? Complicated pandemic at times was highly politicized. Now this was not only in India, but this was all across the globe. If you see in Europe and in US, there have been states which have undergone vaccination and opposed vaccination. So the pandemic was politicized. There were bed shortages and patients were dying uncared. That was ugly.
समस्त बंधू भगिनी आणि वारकरी भाविक भक्तांनो, तत्वज्ञ संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर श्री तुकाराम महाराज यांच्या नावाने आणि विश्वधर्मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दास कराड यांच्या अथक प्रयत्नाने साकार झालेल्या या विश्वशांतीच्या घुमटातून भागवत वारकरी परंपरेचा हा ज्ञान विज्ञानाधिष्ठित अध्यात्मशास्त्राचा दिव्य संदेश संपूर्ण मानव जातीला सुख, समाधान आणि शांतीकडे घेऊन जाईल याचा आम्हाला विश्वास वाटतो. जगभरातील मान्यवरांनी गौरवलेला हा विश्व शांतीचा घुमट लवकरच जगातील एक आश्चर्य म्हणून ओळखला जाईल आणि भारताला विश्वगुरू म्हणून मान्यता प्राप्त करून देईल अशी आमची प्रांजळ भावना आहे.